Hello, this is the TradeSite U.S. Stocks Futures and Forex Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday the 18th of September 2022, ending Friday the 23rd. We just got through with triple expiration on Friday, so a little gap down and then kind of a dead day, and that's kind of what you expect for a triple expiration. Obviously, we had a pretty negative week, but before we get to that, let's first look at the dollar index daily chart. That's what you're seeing here. You got 13 sell signal in place. And under the risk line still so far. Got some room to go back to the red static trend line, so we'll see how that goes. The major pairs, the euro dollar is basically the inverse of the dollar index. Doesn't have a 13 buy signal, but still has kind of the inverse chart. Pound dollar made new lows. So pound new lows against the dollar on Friday. The Aussie dollar swept the new low or swept lows for the year as well. Euro yen hanging near the highs. Pound yen has sold off a bit. When we look at the intra-week action, so here's 30-minute candles on the pound dollar, for example. High to low for the week is about 300, almost 400 pips, which is decent, but a big part of it was that Tuesday plunge on the rate stuff out of Europe. So the rest of the week was kind of tame overall. All right, if we look at the ES, this is the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market in futures form. And as you can see, came back down a bit this week. The negativity, and unfortunately the way it played out, as you'll see in the intra week when we get there, the way I was looking to play it, which I was looking to play the downside, instead we got a big gap down on Tuesday. S&P cash on Friday loses 28.02. Again, gap down and then kind of flat for the day. NASDAQ 100 closes down 66. The SOX closes up 13.6. So a little rebound in the semis. The biotech's down 38.7. Russell 2000 down 27. Crude oil up 30 cents to 85.40. Gold up $7.20. But by the way, that's after sweeping lows for the year. So in the middle of a big inflationary environment, gold is going nowhere. That's got to aggravate the gold fans. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ negative 14.29, so more stocks down than up. On the New York negative 13.98, negative 13.70, sorry. So these are pretty negative advanced decline ratios. NASDAQ volume was 7.2 billion, but again, that's the triple expiration extra volume. The VIX closes up just 3 cents, but it's back up to 26.30 after the earlier drop in the week. Trend closes at 1.44, and that puts the 10-day moving average back up to 1.05. But remember, it was Monday night where the 10-day moving average of the trend dipped under 0.85. That's a sell signal on the broad market. That's what we had me interested in the short side. But then, of course, as you'll see, the big gap down on Tuesday kind of ruined what could have been some real fun, I think. Apple down 1.67, losing ground here. Amazon down $2.75. Has lost back most of what it gained over the last couple months. Meta down $3.26 to new lows, breaking that risk line on the from the 13 buy signal, so that did not hold. Google down 11 cents, sitting right on the risk line from the 13 buy signal, has not violated it yet. Goldman Sachs down $5.41. Netflix up $4.75. Peloton down 94 cents. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down 90 cents. Tesla down 40 cents. Zoom down $1.53. The VXX was up 66 cents. The Nvidia up $2.69. So again, those semis coming back like we talked about. Bitcoin sits back under 20,000 again at 19,695. And all right, let's take a look at the intra-week action now. So 10-minute candles on the ES. We are on the December contracts now, as you know. You can see on Monday, I'm a small gap up and then just dead flat. And that was where I said, hey, I'm going to come in Tuesday and be looking for the short side. Well, unfortunately, it was a big gap down. And even though we did sell off some more after that, it really ruined what could have been, I think, a nice, if we just had a flat to slightly higher opening on Tuesday and sold and shorted it, I think you could have had some real nice session. But the big gap down makes it a little bit trickier, of course. Then Wednesday was just a flat. Thursday was a flat opening and a slight drift down. Friday was a small gap down and a slight drift up. And for the week, we lose, quite a bit on the S&P. NASDAQ 100 futures, kind of the same story, right? Big day down on Tuesday, but again with the gap. All right, so that pretty much covers where we're at in the markets. In terms of the calendar for the week ahead, we've got the CAD during IPPI. Canada has their IPI and RMPI numbers on Monday. We have the NAHB Housing Market Index here, and then Monday night going into Tuesday, CPI, National Core CPI out of Japan. Tuesday, CPI out of Canada in the morning, an hour before the bell here, along with housing starts and building permits here. That's about it. Then going into Wednesday, we do have a two-day Fed meeting Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's your big news. The Fed looking to do something for sure. A lot of people think it's a 75 basis point hike. There's been some talk now of a full point because of the inflationary numbers that caused the gap down on Tuesday. So we'll see. Existing home sales at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. Crude oil inventories at 10:30. Then the Fed announcements at 2 and the press conference is at 2:30. Thursday, we've got the initial and continuing jobless claims numbers, current account, and then CB leading index half an hour in. Natty gas an hour in. Australia's got their flash. Everybody's got their flash manufacturing and PMI and services PMI numbers around the globe, starting with Australia. Going to Friday, then France, Germany, the broad European one, the UK, and then here in the US and Canada has their retail sales number. And that will wrap up the week. Daylight savings time shift next week and just in New Zealand. We're still over a month off here in the US, but it's starting to happen. That's about it. We'll see what we get. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.